one instant has turned into ages, imprisoned in the loop of the mind. Sleeping self, wake your backside up. Sleep, wake up behind the mind. Wake your backside up. Ego is the false eye. How do you identify? There you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Time to unify the self. There you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. When you are sleeping, do you know you are dreaming? You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the Wake self. Your backside up. Escape the loop of the imagination. Dream world, dream creation. So wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. Oh, you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Time to unify the self. Oh, you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. When you are sleeping, do you know you are dreaming? Time to wake up. Dreaming until you wake up. Escape the loop of imagination. Dream world, dream creation. Wake your backside up. Self is sleeping, obscure behind the mind. Ego is the false eye. How do you identify? Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Wake your backside up. Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to wake up. Wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the self. It's wake up time. This dream has to end sometime. Yeah. Oh, no one to sleep forever. Wake up. Wake your backside up. Time to unify the self. Wake your backside up. Say, are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Say, oh, you're gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Time to wake up when you are sleeping. Do you know you are dreaming? You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. Time to unify the self. Oh, you're gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up. Are you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Wake your backside up. Wake your backside up. It's time to wake up. It's time to unify the self.
Yes. Yes, It is that time. It is time to wake up. How you gonna know you're in a dream? How you gonna know if you don't wake up? You only know the moment you wake up that it was a dream. All right. Let me just turn this microphone here. Yes. How you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Because you only know that it was a dream after you awake. All right. Welcome to this satsang with I Set Mahat Aten Ra. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for wanting to know more. I am Primal Light, prepared for this dream duality existence in the shattered fractal state, this body avatar, with this self-identity as Aset, Mahat, Aten Ra. Thank you so much for clicking this video. Again, thank you for wanting to know more. This is a gathering to seek truth. Why am I on this mission for seeking truth? I am on this mission for seeking truth because what? I have been in ignorance. I have been in ignorance of the I true self. I had a lot of questions and I wanted to know. So, are you a truth seeker? Because this is the gathering to seek truth. Or when you're faced with the truth, you're going to deny it and say, oh, no, 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 I don't want belief to believe that. Or do you want to see things as they are? All right? Because when you're on the path of truth, you have to give up all your ideologies, all your belief systems, and any dogmas that you hold to. You have to give them up. You cannot hold on to them and wanting to seek truth, because this ego, it is a liar, it is a deception, and it does not want truth. So if you are a seeker of truth, it means that you are anti-ego. You are going against your ego. You must be anti-ego. All right? And so today I am going to answer the question of, is there life after death? Because the INIs, we have been programmed into fearing death. We have been programmed into lies and propaganda spread because of fear. The gods them and their human clones that they have sent to rule over the INIs, and so they have indoctrinated the INIs, and so when one is seeking truth, one have to shatter this indoctrination. All right. And so many ones are concerned about life after death. Do they go to heaven or do they go to hell? But I want to tell the INI that to live righteously now. Live righteously now. Because what? This is the final stage. This is the final of this movie, that of this duality movie. We are going to move to non-duality when we are no longer going to be in ignorance and don't know that anything that we need to know, we can ask ourselves, and the truth will not be concealed from us, right? So why the I dissolve the I ego? This is very important. Why ego and evil rule this game, this life game. Remember that we are in this life movie. All right. And so my focus today is to encourage all the INIs to live righteously now. Now is the important thing that we need to focus on. All right. So first, I want to give honor and reverence to the I One True Pure Self. Hail, hail to the I One True Pure Self. Hail, hail to the I One True Pure Self. Unmanifest, non-being, I alone exist. Victory, victory, victory. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Hail, hail to the I, the prime, my light. Hail to the I, the one true light. Hail to the I, the transparent light. Hail to I, the light without beginning nor end. Hail to the I, the prime, my light. Hail to all the INIs in alignment to restore balance to I. Hail, hail to the I lineage, I parent self. Victory, victory to the I and I. I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself, and I alone exist. I dissolve my ego and all my ego false selves and all my clones. I am free, from my imaginary bondage. I dissolve this dream and I return to I ultimate true state. Victory, victory. Much honor, much reverence to all ionized. Victory, victory, victory to the I masculine self. Shiva Heru, and to the I Shiva Shambho. Victory, victory, victory. Thank you for all the great work that all of the Ionites are doing in alignment to restore balance to I, to dissolve all I egoic nature, and to dissolve the I ego, the I supreme ego. Victory, victory, victory to restore balance to all ionized. Victory, victory. Yes, I. So, no more secrets, no more lies. Say this with me. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. So no matter what y'all you have hidden, it is going to be made known. All secrets will be revealed. All things created must and will be destroyed. This is the age of truth. And it's time for self-responsible authority. Resist temptations and be vigilant, because they are coming. They have the ionized, depraved, and they come in with money and come in with all of their dream things, tempting the eyes to do evil and to go against the eye true nature. Resist temptations and be vigilant. No fear. We have been ruled under tyranny and fear for far too long, and now we must stand up to all bullies. No fear, because I self triumphant over ego, good triumphant over evil, self-truth triumphant over ignorance, and the real triumphant over the dream. Victory, victory. All is myself. I am all. All of this existence is I. It is I playing all the roles. This says that I, one true, pure self, unmanifest, I alone exist. I bow to all ionized in self, in light, and in truth. Victory, victory. Thank you again for joining I. Much honor, much reverence to all ionized. Victory, victory. May the I be victorious in the I endeavor to return to truth and to the dissolution of the I ego. And so, is there life after death? Because we in a very trying times right now. You know, when we have so many delusional characters that are ruling and governing the world, and I am calling for a dissolution of all governments, because if you do not know truth and you are not balanced, how can you lead and guide one? You're only going to lead one into ditches, and we're no more going to be following in blindness, and those who are blind and those who are delusional. There's no more we should follow this, and no more that we should fear. Yeah, because they have an agenda, all right, and we are not going to allow them to fulfill their agenda. So this is why I am always bringing attention to this. So there's no fear for that. There's no need for the I to fear that the I can have a self-awareness of death. You can go through this conscious awareness and leave this body and come back into this body and see that The I do not need to fear death, because the I is deathless, formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. So, right, first, what is life and what is death? Because we have to understand life to understand if there's life after death. So life is a dream. Let me just make this clear. We are inside of a video game, right? Life is a movie. You watch movies, right? So this is how time is. In the real, there is no past and no future. It's just now, the now existing, right? In the real, everything is happening all at the same time. This dream is happening at the same time while the real is happening. All right, everything is happening in the real at the same time. What's happening? Life, this movie, this video game that we are in, this is why we have the past. Like when you're watching a movie, you can reel and rewind to the past, right? You can go back into the past. So you can fast forward and go on the screen. The script is already there, right? So you can go into the future. Is we are fear because of ignorance, because we do not know, because we are the characters inside of the movie. The characters inside of the movie has no perspective of the outside. So when you're watching a movie and everything is on that screen, right? Everything is on that screen, and those who were playing the characters, they have returned back to their original life, and now these characters are being played out on the screen. This is what this life is. All right. So when one is wearing the body, right, we call that life. When you decide, the body can no longer hold yourself, the real, any longer, then you evacuate this body, right, this vehicle, right? And so, and what do in the world we call this? Death, right? Life and death is the same thing. It's one and the same. It is only the I experience of wearing the body that changes. When you come into the body, when you are inside your human mother belly, being the baby, the body is being formed, and you, the self, enter into that body, right? And when you come out of the body of the I parent self, the human parent self, right, you come out into life. You see, this is the channel of how you come into the body and enter back into what this aspect of the dream that we call life. So when you exit the body, where are you? You are still here, right? There's just a veil. A veil is over your eyes. You cannot see. Like right now, all of the ones them who passed on, if you can see beyond the veil, and you even look, say, like, I want to see, because many ones they do what they call remote viewing, because I've had many ones do this remote viewing on I, but this is why they are afraid of me, right? Because they do remote viewing on I, and they see that I am the real, right? They cannot steal my soul, they cannot trap me, and all these things. Yes, the gods them can come and fight me, but all of this. But if you should see around I, you will see many ones who have passed on from the body. They sit around I, especially when I am doing a talk. They all come. They all come to listen to what I have to say, because all of the I and I's, whether you are wearing the body or not, you are still wearing the ego, right? The ego, the mind, the device that allows you to participate in the dream. And so they are still in ignorance. They do not know truth, just like all the gods. They all are wearing the same device that we are wearing. And this is why their mind is so impure, right? So the gods, all the gods, they had their time many eons ago when they also was wearing a body, and just like us, they feared death. They never wanted to lose their bodies. They fought to keep their bodies. They did all kind of things, all kind of stuff, experimenting to keep their bodies, but eventually their bodies faded away, just like what the human beings are doing now. They're doing all these kind of things. They're using the plasma, they're using young babies. This is why they are stealing so many babies and enslaving them, and they also are brewing them. You know what I'm saying? They have the laboratory. They're what do you, how would you call this? You know, how many women who are the impregnating to bringing these babies so that they can drink their blood and drink their stuff and do all of these things so that they can prolong their time in the body, right? They can prolong their time in the body and reign dominion and all these things. But all of these creation is only for a time and a season. All right. And so we have to come to this knowing that we are timeless, formless, boundless, and everything that is created only have a limited time. It have a destiny when we have to um let go of the things that we have created and we have grown attachment to, right? And so in this process of death, you have to, when you're going to this self-knowing and wanting to know truth, you just have to ask yourself the question, what is death? Right? And you can go through this death experience yourself. All right, when this death experience happened for I came out of the body. I looked, I saw the body, and there is the sun that comes to on the top of the eye head. Remember that all of the eye self, that is a soul. There is a sun, and it's electromagnetic, and it comes and it snaps down on the top of your crown chakra, and it pulls, because the mind is magnetic, so it attaches to it and it pulls the self out of the body. But when this is very traumatic for the mind, because it holds attachment to its creation, to the body, to this life. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't want to not be in a body. This is why everyone wants to stay in a body. But we don't need to be worrying about this body, because what? We are going to be going to a metamorphosis. This is what is happening right now. This is what the sun is doing. This is what the ionized self that is inside of this dream is doing, is putting us through this process for this metamorphosis. All right, so the change is happening. No need to fear it. You just need to embrace it, because the INI is in ignorance. The INI is dream characters, and this is the reason why I'm going to talk about why we have to dissolve our ego, because it is what make the confusion. Right? It is what makes the confusion for us, and this is why we have our ignorance, duality nature, fighting wars, want to keep us always in deprivation, thinking, because you see, the God has programmed to many ones. Right now, they don't want everyone to know that the I self is in the dream, but all the real people, they know this already, and so they are hiding this truth. But it's not going to be long when all of this is going to be made known, and all truth will be made known. All right. And so what they are doing is really trying to keep one in fear, and make threats of their nuclear war that they're going to do, and all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a false perception, and they have been programmed wrongly by the gods that they are serving, right? One of the major problems That's why you see many ones, they doing their war, the terrorists, they all over just creating chaos. They have been creating chaos for such a long time and cannot live and see all as one because of the programming in their mind. First of all, they have stolen the I egoic character, the I clones. Because remember that the gods have been cloning the real selves. So there's a lot of clones here. These clones, they want to stay in the dream. They want to get their body to last. This is why they can only be here because of us. So if we dissolve all our egoic nature, this is how we are going to take the responsibility of ourselves in our hands, and we're going to take back our power, and all of our clones will have no power over us. They are our clones. So don't sit there and just let your clone, your demons and monsters that you created terrorize you, continue to terrorize you and terrorize others. All is the I. Everything rises from I, right? And so it is the time now for us to have a self-aware experience of what you call death, of you consciously in awareness of yourself leaving this body and coming back into it with awareness. You can have this experience and you can see how it is to leave the body. Don't you want to leave the body and know when you're leaving and know what you're doing? You want to stay in ignorance? No, you want to be able to, when you're leaving this body, you are awake. You have awareness of when you're leaving, where exactly you're going. For wherever you rise from, you return. But it has not been so. They have been trapping us. When we are leaving the body, we have been trapped. All right? And so now is when you can leave this body with awareness and no fear. You can say, oh, okay, I am just going into, like you're going into your car, you're driving somewhere, you're exploring the terrain, right? In your car, and no, you can get out of your car. This is what this sacred body is, right? It is your vehicle to explore this dream, right? And when you have this body, because this body is so special, you can come into awareness, you can come awake, you know what I'm saying? And you can do a lot of things you can't do when you're not in the body, right? And so I say, do not fear death, because death and life is the one and the same. It's just you go exiting the body, right? And so just to reiterate on dying a conscious death, so this is what the I and I want to do. Because remember, death is what? When the I is just leaving the body. But when you are leaving the body, you are leaving the body unconsciously. You don't have any awareness, you don't have any self-awareness. You just go and you know, some character come meet you and they tell you all these lies and trick you. This world is a dream. There's all tricksters. Every angle you look, there's a trickster. You see how the world is right now, where you can't really trust anyone. They always trying to scam you. They steal your identity. This is what, when you are exiting this body, you get all kind of false light. You get false character waiting there to deceive you and entrap you and all of these things, so that they can clone you some more. And yeah, so you can know, have awareness of yourself, right? So you don't have to be afraid, and you can know your lineage from where you rise. Okay, so I want to share with the I and I, when I was going through this transformation, and so when I decided that I would dissolving the I ego, the I ego false self, and I no longer want to be in a fake self. I no longer wanted to to allow the ego to take precedent over I want to be in command. And so this is when I was dissolving the I ego. And you know, one of the I sister who you know, coming from the same human mother self, she, you know, because the I, that which came as the I mother in the, for this character here in this human form, had passed, had transitioned and passed on from the body. And so the I sister was having these dreams, and saw, you know, like she was sawing me, like I was dying, because I was going through this conscious death experience. And she called me in, she was crying, and she was saying, oh, she had this dream. And so I was explaining to her what was happening to me. But what was dying, the part, the egoic self, the egoic nature was dying, you know. And I'm trying to help her to understand that I am not dying, that the egoic nature that I was in was dying. And so this was the, you know, this was the experience that she was having, about, because she was seeing my transition that I was going through, you know, when I was going through that experience. And you know, when I came out of the body and saw the body laying. And then when I tried to return back into the body, I couldn't come back into the body, because the self was helping me to understand. And then finally, the self aligned me back with the body. And then when I came back in, just like when that was when I had a new birth. So, you know, like when a baby is born, they take that breath like that to grasp that air so you can breathe again. That this was how I came back. I took that breath again, and then I came back into the body. I came back into the body. I mean, it was you know, because I was in ignorance, and I really did not know, because I was in the baby self, and the baby self had to be dissolved. You know how everyone is in that spirit self. That self have to be dissolved, and then you have to be the soul self. And so I was going through this process. And I was in ignorance because I did not know. And it was through all the experiences that I learned. You know, I learned all of these things. And so it was after this that, you know, sister, you know, had this dream, had this vision of I dying. And so I had to, she still didn't really understand. She was like, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing. Everyone was telling me, like, when the gods would come and take over ones and say, oh, they want myself, because then I was still in the baby self, but I was loosened from the mind. And so the gods was fighting to take myself, the real, you know. And so they're saying, why don't you give the gods what they want? Why don't you give it? And I said, if you are in slavery and someone wants to keep you in slavery, you're just not gonna fight for your liberation. They did not understand it. And everyone is telling me I should stop what I was doing, because the gods are coming and making, you know, taking over everybody's mind, and everybody's going crazy. It was a crazy time for the ones who was being around me. And so you know, I am explaining to them, you know, what's happening, that I'm not giving up. I am going to fight to the last drop, because I am not going to give into these gods. And so they were trying to traumatize ones, putting fear on I, and you know, I was terrified, because every one of them would come, they would shoot proton missiles at me, and I would just be sitting there, and proton missiles just hitting me. And then I realized that if I move around in a circle, and do the vibrations, and I was able to balance myself, more. And so I learned all of these process because this ego do not want to die, and it's the ego that has to die. The ego dies and will be no more if you dissolve it. All right, you have to dissolve your egoic nature, but I'm telling you, it's a traumatic experience for the ego, but it's a liberation for the self. And the ego does this to put a lot of fear in one's, so that ones will not want to make this journey. I'm telling you, this is the bravest thing that anyone can ever do. All the ones who say that they are brave and they can make war and do this, if you can stand up to your ego and be brave, face this death consciously, you become the most courageous ones. Yeah, because the fear is coming from here. The fear is coming from your mind, your ego, and you have to stand up to it. This is your first defeat, that you have to defeat your own ego. All right? So don't be concerned about all of this, delusion that we have been programming, this indoctrination. It is about how you live your life. How are you living, right? How will you choose to live? If you have done something in the past, you have done wrong, make right. Just apologize and move on from there and do the right thing. And every day you stay in the present, stay in now. Because remember, now is all that exists, right? Past and future is only of the dream, only on the screen, right? Only on the film, right? This is only where past and future is. All right? And we are moving it into that future because we are still on that dream. And then once we get out of this, there's a process to return back to our ultimate true state. So all of this is a process. So the metamorphosis is happening. All right. So will you live honorable and self-knowing? This is what you need to focus on a lot, right? So I want to say that evil must end. All right. And so no impunity, no immunity to all the evil ones, all the egoic nature who has been ruling on the tyranny and doing all of this evil things. You know what I'm saying? They've been holding us in slavery. And so we must stand up first to our mind and let not our mind deceive us, because it's going to put fear, right? Because we have been programmed, right? We have been programmed for such a long time in fear. And if we don't challenge ourselves and say, you know what, whatever it is, because this is what I had to say. I said, whatever it is, whatever the deal is, I am going to stand up and I am going to face it. And when I said that, I said I am going to take like about 22 days. I wanted to go to 30 days, but because the ionized ones, the young ones that I had, I still had to care for them. And so I said I took 22 days and said I am going to go into stillness. I explained this to them. And so I would just get up, make their food, do, all of these things. So while I am, being a mother, playing that role, I am going through all of this process. You have no idea. Everyone is saying, oh, I am crazy. Oh, I am this. When I left, from one state and drove to another one, because, I was working in the school, in the school system, and I left the school and took the kids out of school. The government chased me all the way from where I was at to the next state that I went. Yeah, because they their mind is sick and delusional. You know, they chase me all the way. And then when I finally get to the next state, I said I will never put them back into any schools. I was gonna homeschool them because I was going through all of these process. You know what I'm saying? And going through these changes, and so many things was happening. So I know, so I've been there and I have done that. All the fear, everything, when you're fear and scared to do something, you know, to just get up and go somewhere and do, you know, this mind puts you in fear. You know what I'm saying? That you have evil ones, you know, doing a lot of evil. And so I'm calling for evil to end, because I am ready for my transition, right? For my metamorphosis, right? To be completed. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the ignorance of all the ionized. No fear. You know what I'm saying? I am tired of these ones who are saying they are choosing ones. And God choose them to go around the world and terrorize others and do evil. And if you're God, you can obviously see that God does not make anyone good. Look at all of the ones them calling on gods. Everyone calling on God. How come your God can make you see that all is oneself? How can your God, you oppressive, raping, slaughtering, blood sacrifice? No, obviously your God have a crazy mind, a sick mind. Stop following God's. And so this is the reason why, because it is my destiny, and I have been fighting for a very long time for my liberation from being imprisoned by gods. And so I am here to stand up to all gods and to all the I egoic nature, all the I demons, all the I monsters that I have created, because everything rises from I. All monsters and demons I have created, I am dissolving them, and I am saying no impunity, no immunity for any of the I clone terrorizing the I and I inside of this dream. You have no impunity, you have no immunity, because you must come to see the evil that you have done, and justice, truth must prevail. Order must be restored to I and I. Yes, no more secrets, no more lies. It's time to live upright and know thyself. Okay? No time for fear. Yes, it is time. You know, many ones, they call on their gods and they come and they fight you, you know, in the spiritual battle. They come and they attack you, and they do put you under spells and trance. This is what they have been doing for all of this time. They have been keeping us under spells and trance, and all of this I have to be here fighting to dissolve all of these spells and trance. The I self have been here taking care of us, the I parent mother selves. All right, because our father self, our father figure have taught us a lot of evil. Yes, because they're in ignorance, and we have been following blindly. And it's time now for the real, time now for truth. All right, victory, victory. So, what is the process to end evil? Because everything there is a process, right? Being brutalized by the gods, all right? This is my commandment, that all evil must end now. All duality nature must end now. I dissolve all gods now. I dissolve I supreme ego consciousness now, right? Because what? I am speaking in the now, because everything is happening now, right? Yes. Yeah, because for such a long time I have just been attacked and brutalized by the duality nature. And so I take command and responsibility and dissolve everything, all my monsters, all my demons, right? All my devils and my satans, I dissolve them to be no more. So they're not getting no impunity or no immunity that they are been claiming. Yeah, because justice must be served. So all the I and I must come to truth and stop doing evil. All right. We always have to get to the roots of a problem, because this is the only way that we can solve this problem, right? We can see this evil, every culture on every aspect of this world, right? Evil exists. So where is this evil rising from, right? From the mind, from the I mind, right? The evil is rising here. All evil arises from the consciousness. So let's first answer the question, what is consciousness? All right? And why the I need to dissolve the I egoic nature. This is very important. Let's just cut the chase and just get to the root of the problem and solve it. Everything is our responsibility, because it begins here, when we must take command. All right? This consciousness, remember that the consciousness is the mind of this dream illusionary world, right? This life movie. It is the device that the I and I is wearing, right? So consciousness is a what? Is a device. And it is the mind of Ra. Consciousness is the supreme ego, and the mind of the I that is playing the role as Ra, the feminine, and she is the self-replica of Aten Ra, our mother self. And in this shattered fractal state, all of the Ionize, the feminine, have a masculine self, all right? And her masculine self is Set, aka Chaos. Is the chaos of the world, and is known as the infamous devil, and is what many of them in the world call the reptilian god of this world, right? Because remember, there are different realms, and there are different gods that rule the different realms, all right? And ours here in this world is the devil, and that is Set, right? He's the masculine to the world, and all of his selves, one known as Jesus Christ, the other one known as Allah, right? These are all the self of the devil, right? So the devil is playing all of these roles, right? I know that the moon is the obscure light of consciousness. The moon is the light, the obscure light of the mind of Ra. Remember that? Remember, you have a self and you have a mind, right? And it's through the mind that the self is creating. But guess what? The consciousness has gone rogue. The consciousness has now start creating all kinds of things on its own, and it's not listening, taking instruction from itself. This is why Ra and fighting with herself. Like when you see a full moon, when you see a blood red moon and all those moons, this is a war between the consciousness obscuring Ra, right? Now it has taken over her and entranced her in a sleep. And this is when everyone in the world go extra crazy. You see how Netanyahu, how he waited for the sun, waited for Ra to be obscure, the full moon to strike on Iran, right? Yeah, because this is when the she goes into sleep, and she is in unawareness of herself, and her mind do a lot of crazy things, and people who are connecting to the moon, because remember, the consciousness is the first God. Remember this. And it's the first rebellion, because it rebels against itself. All right? So this is the consciousness, and all of the ionize, when we come to enter into her creation, she gave us a replica of her mind, this consciousness, in a baby form, to explore and to also be a creator in the world. She gives you this mind, the consciousness. It becomes this is the ego, right? And you put it on. Then guess what it does? It does the same thing that it does to Ra. It obscures you, puts you into sleep, trance you into sleep, and every time it's giving you a movie, it's showing you and entertaining you, And this way you cannot wake up from the sleep, right? This is what everyone in the world is in, this sleeping, dreaming state, right? The consciousness is creating this world. It is all taking place in the mind of Ra, right? We are inside of our belly, right? This is the sleeping, dreaming consciousness. So stop reaching out to consciousness. Stop worshiping consciousness, because this consciousness is crazy. You can see it from the minds of the gods. Them, they do crazy things. Don't you see that? From the minds of all the human beings, all the ones who are calling on God and say God choose them and they are chosen ones and they are so special. Yes, they are so special because they're so delusional. Look at them. They're all delusional characters. All right. We are inside the body of Ra, right? There are many selves that are playing the different roles, all right, to make this dream experience, this life movie, this video game happening, all right? All of the selves are playing different roles, both masculine and feminine. The problem is that the masculine also, when they're wearing the consciousness, because this world is in built on the masculine energy, because the feminine goes to sleep, and the mind now makes everything magnetic, all right? And so right now the feminine are waking up and losing that magnetic magnetic nature of their self, and so they don't need to pretend to play a masculine role, and they're merging with their masculine self, right? And so, but they are still wearing this consciousness, right? So the selves are waking up, but the consciousness is still sleeping. Follow? All right, and the consciousness, because of this sleeping, dreaming state of the consciousness, the consciousness becomes impure, and because of this impurity, this is why the consciousness suffers this madness, because its light is obscure and the consciousness needs light, right? Consciousness needs light, and the I parent self is here to restore the light of the consciousness, to restore the light back on the moon, because we are all the real self. We are going to be able to see the process of the moon, the light having its own light, where it's not being for reflecting light from itself. Remember, Ra is the sun and the moon is her mind. That's why the moon reflects light from her. All right. And so now the moon is going to have its own light. So, so it will finally eventually wake up. This is a process, right? This is a process. So it's not like, gonna happen like that. It's a process. We already see the process is happening right now. We already see this is happening, right? And so, why did consciousness emerge? Consciousness emerged as a result of the I One True Self unmanifest, I alone exist, had a curiosity, right? What would it be like to create an imagined world? Therefore, the I bring into being a baby self and fragment and self-replicate, and right, and all its fragmented self to play all the characters into its imagination creation. All right. So this is why consciousness emerged, because the I had a curiosity, and so the I had satisfied all its curiosity, and know that itself in existing in an imagined world with this consciousness is very dangerous. And this is why the I self is dissolving this state of the I being in this egoic state, and wants to restore light back onto the consciousness and to dissolve its imagination creation. All right. I want to remember that the moon is the consciousness of the world. It's the mind of the world. All right. And remember that the world is being created by the moon, because it is the consciousness, the mind of Ra, the sun, right? The sun and the moon, they go together, right? Remember that for eons, the feminine and masculine have been separated, and they did not see all as themselves. Therefore, the masculine wage a war against the feminine, all right? And so the war of the gods, they constantly fighting each other. So as a result of this war, this is also trickled down to the human beings. This is why all the different human beings, they have their own sect, they have their own gods. And if their God is a warmonger, you can look and see the chaos in the world. All right, so it's time to move away from gods and wanting to seek your own self-truths, all right, and not be attached to your egoic nature and all of your clones, okay? All right, so remember, what are gods? But right, God is the I playing a role as the supreme ego, false self, that is sleeping and in a dreaming state. As a result of the sleeping dreaming state, the consciousness is in. All right, when the self wears the consciousness, it put the I into the sleeping dreaming state, and because the I and I did not make a baby of the I self to come into the human form, they remain into this egoic state, and this is how they become the gods. All right, because all of them supposed to get an experience of coming into the human form, but based on how they have traumatized the human beings, they did not want to take this human form. They only want to remain into this God form, in where they don't make a baby self, right? So that they can be bullies. God is the supreme bullies, right? Just remember that the God is the I. It is you playing the dream character, and right, and wearing this guise of the consciousness, right? So it's the consciousness that is creating this avatar, and this is how all the I and I are existing. So God is the duality, sleeping, dreaming state that the I self is in. And this is why all of the I and I's have to wake up from this sleeping, dreaming state. Is God real? So we know that the gods are real, because it is the I self, just not into this human body form, right? And so remember that the gods are dream characters, and they are created by the mind. But the self that is playing the role of God is the real. But the self is entranced in the dream, and now the mind created this God state. All right, where they think they're superior to their other self, taking the human form. All right, and they play trickery and all of these things on their other selves in human form. All right, so remember that in this life movie, all the characters are only a figment of the I imagination. All right, so the I and I's are in a false self. This is very important, and this is the reason why the I and I have to dissolve this false self, right? This false self. Human beings are not real. Human beings are characters in a dream. This is why the ones that are all in attachment. And remember, we are going through what? A metamorphosis. All right? To move from this human being state. All right? The gods are not real. They are also characters in a dream. And right now, they are being dissolved. All right? They are being dissolved. And their light is being restored. Except for right now, the duality of this world set, aka the infamous devil and his other selves, Jesus Christ and Allah. They are his self. They're in alignment, and but mostly majority of the gods them are already merged, and their light is being restored, and soon they have to fulfill their destiny, to dissolve all the things that they have created and to do the right. All right. Remember that the I create an imagination world and also create all the characters to play all the roles in this created world. All right. You have to remember this. All right. All of these characters, it is all the I and I play in these roles, right? It is all the I playing these roles. It's very important that I remember this. So that's why you have to take responsibility, all right, and dissolve all of your clones, because remember that the gods make many clones of you. So all of those evil ones, many evil ones you see, they are your clones, and everything that belongs to you, you must call it back onto you and dissolve all of your egoic nature so that we can restore order and balance. All right. Remember, right? I am not this body. I am not this mind. All right. It is time to self-inquire. Many ones they're turning now to AI. They're turning to AI, and they're they're turning to AI, and they're asking AI lots of questions. They're turning to AI and they're asking AI lots of questions instead of like turning to their self, and inquire of themselves. So instead of connecting to their self, the soul, instead of connecting to their real self, their one true self, now everybody is asking AI questions. So they're moving from asking gods now to asking AI, which is the same ignorance. So you need to self-inquire. Why don't you want to ask yourself? Why don't you want to ask yourself? Your God is a liar. You cannot have eternal life. AI is just following programming, and AI can only access the consciousness of the mind of the world, right? And it does not know truth. It does not know the real. All right. So know that all these human beings and their gods will eventually be dissolved to be no more. There is a process to return back to the ultimate true state. This metamorphosis is happening right now. All warmongers and evildoers, these ones will not get to participate in our new experience of non-duality. It's time to end evil. It's not evil doing. All right? Because what? I and I is trapped in this virtual reality world. How to end the game. Right? Evil and the ego rules this game. It's time to exit the game. Why don't you want to exit the game? Yeah, it's time to stop playing this game now. And it's time to return back to your true state. Start asking yourself questions and stop questioning AI. AI don't know the truth. All right. So, will the I, ego, false selves apologize? Right? You have done wrong, just make right. You have done wrong, make right. Right? All the lies and propaganda the ego have told. Now it's about correcting the lies with truth, because all of these egoic nature, these clones, they are hiding all the truths into their places that they build secure, hiding all the truths. No, the truth must be made known. You cannot continue to hide truth from the people. All truths must be made known, and it is about seeing things the way that they truly are. And no more lies, no more propaganda. Now will you apologize for the wrong you have caused the I and I in your ignorance and blinded state? Because you've been in ignorance, you've been blind, and you've been doing a lot of atrocities? Or are you going to still hold on to your lies and false beliefs? Are you going to continue to refuse the light, the real sight you are being given? You are only seeing from the ego's perspective because you are wearing this egoic imagination device and have taken on the role of the ego false self-character, playing monsters and demons and doing a lot of atrocities. Now will you stop this evil doing? Will you change your evil ways, and will you apologize? How can the I see through the lens and perspective of the I real self? You have only been seen through the false perspective of the ego. You have never seen through the lens of the I real self. If you still refuse to learn your lessons, these life lessons, and would rather stay in your delusion, so be it. But I want you to know that the I ego false characters will be dissolved to be no more. Alright? Remember that human beings suffer from sickness of the mind. So does all the gods. This is why they entice you into doing all of these crazy things. Blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, drinking bloods, doing all kind of craziness. Sodomizing babies and doing a lot of atrocities. Why do human beings do evil things? Why is the mind so impure? Why is the mind so deceiving and confusing? Why does evil and suffering exist? Time to get to the root of our problem. It is the mind that is impure. The I ego clone characters can do whatever they want, but soon they will know that they are no longer in command. Because this is what they think, that they are superior, they are chosen, and they can do whatever they want without no repercussion. But all evil must end, and you have no immunity and no impunity. All truth must be restored by the I want you pure self unmanifest. This metamorphosis is happening, and there is nothing that the I dual nature, the ego, can do to stop this from happening. It is happening. The I and I is so immersed in ignorance. Ignorance must end. Human beings are characters in a dream. It's time to wake up to the truth that you are only just playing this role on the stage of life in this movie. You're just playing this character. This is not who you really are. Human beings, they suffer from sickness of the mind. And many leaders, as you can see in the world, are crazy, but their craziness is overlooked. Why? We refuse your leadership and your crazy delusional ideas. You are the biggest criminals, and all the atrocities that you have been doing, the slavery that you have been doing, the propagandas and lies that you have been spreading, the wars that you have been initiating. You are not capable to lead and guide another. I dissolve all I ego and all I demented egoic character, the I clones. I file a case against all gods. I file a case against all the I false selves, human beings and all, and I ego clones with the I one true pure self, unmanifest non-being. I alone exist. You have committed a crime against the I one true pure self and against the souls, the I self. Your mind is corrupt and your hand is soiled with blood and iniquity and with the torture of the I self, the souls. It's time to humble yourself, calm the ego down, and take a look in the mirror of all your crimes against the I and I. You have no immunity, you have no impunity. What are the lessons that you need to learn? This is what the I needs to focus on. It's time to turn your lens inwards to know truth. Your age of rulership is over. The I, one true pure self, is in command. We are in the process of this metamorphosis, and you cannot stop it. What kind of ruler have you been? What footprints are you leaving behind? Turn these questions to the I and I self. This is what the I and I need to do. Turn these questions to the I. And live honorable. Because egoism must end. Remember, it is about how you live. Will you live honorable and self-knowing? Yeah, it's time to change. Transforming from a human being to, you don't know what you're transforming, how this transformation is happening, this metamorphosis. You don't know how it's happening. So why are you fighting the process? Why you want to stay in this body? Yes, it's time to move from darkness to light, right? It's time for self-sufficiency. It's time to move from this dream to the real. From this egoic self to the real self, right? It is time for transformation. This is happening. This is happening. So remember when I and I was being brewed as a fetus inside the womb of the I human mother self. Look at this. This doesn't look like a human. Look at this one and look at number one here. Doesn't look like a human, right? But there's a process of transformation. Why you want to black out the sun? But you can't black out the sun. This process is happening. This metamorphosis. What is the transformation process? It's time to transform from this stage to the next. Trust the I one true pure self, the all-knowing. Your knowledge is limited only to this dream. You do not know the real because you are doing a lot of the delusional things because you're connected to the wrong aspect of the I. You have connected to the dream, the wrong aspect of this. When you were a fetus inside the womb of your human mother, did you know the process? You was entranced and asleep and you didn't know the process. It was happening for you. Now you are inside the womb of the I real mother self. You still do not know the process of the next transformation. Now, it's time to surrender and say, not my will, but the I one true pure self will be done. I trust the process. I trust the I one true pure self because I do not know. I am blinded. I am limited to the knowledge that I know. I am very limited, right? So I know that I don't know, but you want to pretend like you know and you don't want to admit that you don't know. You don't know. So ask the I real self. Don't ask AI. Don't ask the consciousness. Don't ask your God because your God don't know. He has been telling you wrong things and I've been leading you wrongly. So what are the human beings transforming to be? You're transforming, you're going to be self-sufficient, right? Remember, this body is producing light. Everything into this existence is producing light. But you see the process, this long, elaborate process it goes through to produce light? No, you don't have to eat food to get energy to produce light because this is what you do, right? When you eat the food, you produce energy. What is this energy that you produce? Light, right? You have light beaming off of you. When you meditate, you produce even more light. You see that you don't even need to eat so much, because when you're meditating, you're giving this body things that, the light that it needs, even though this body also process food to keep it at a certain level of I would say built, right? When we're moving from this body, we're moving from the state of producing our own light, being our own light, right? From ignorance, we don't know truth, we don't know ourselves, so to being self-knowing beings, right? From being in darkness to being the light. Why are you afraid? What are you afraid of? Don't let them trick you to being afraid. This is an amazing process that is happening, right? This is an amazing process that is happening. So, you know what I'm saying? So just enjoy this process and trust in the I and I. All right? Know that from that which the I rise, to that I return. From that which I rise, to that I return. I am the all. I am the black energy. I am the black nutrient. All is I. I am all. I am the blackness. I am stillness. I am that I am. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I alone exist. Victory, victory. I want to thank the I and I for joining I into this video. Right? Just remember that this process is happening. Remember that there's no need for the I to fear death. The I can have a self-aware and a conscious experience of leaving the body. Remember, that is only the I leaving and exiting the body. And when you are doing that, you are doing it without self-awareness. And now you want to do it with self-awareness, where you're aware of yourself, you the self, leaving consciously and then coming back into this body again. All right? No need to have fear. All right? Live honorable, live righteously, do the right thing, apologize if the I, hurt someone, and try not to do the same mistake again. All right. May all beings know the I self. Thank you for joining. I am primal light, prepared for this dream duality world existence, this life movie in this shattered fractal state, taking on this identity as Aset, Mahat, Aten Ra. I bow to the I and I in self, in light and in truth. I am the self, I am the truth, I am the primal light, I am that I am. I want to thank you so much for joining and so I have come to the end of this and I am just going to close out with a song. So I'm doing salutation to the I, neutral self, to winning the battle, this victory for the liberation of the I and I from this egoic state. Victory, victory. No fear.
One instant has turned into ages, imprisoned in the loop of the mind. Sleeping self, wake your backside up. Sleep. Wake up behind the mind, your backside up. Ego is the false I. How do you identify? Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up? Time to unify the self. Say how you gonna know you're in a dream if you don't wake up?
Yes.
When salutation to the neutral self, primal life. Hail, hail. Salutation to our parent self, primal life. Hail, hail. Salutation to I self supreme, primal life. Salutation to the sun. Hail, light in the world for all to see. Holding the balance in duality. Primal life, pure consciousness be. Hail, hail to the self supreme, the neutral self, primal life. One and only unicorn, warrior for the cause, allowing the world just because all is one in myriads of form. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the self supreme. Hail, hail to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail to the world's heart, holding the balance scale. On the battlefield in a duel fate, fighting for the lost soul to be free. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Win the victory. Victory. Win the victory. Victory. Win the victory. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory, victory. The world is balance, the world is harmony. Victory, victory. Hail, hail. Salutation to I self supreme, neutral self, primal light. Hail to I self supreme, supreme sun, Aten Ra, the atom. Hail, hail to the supreme sun. If you close your eyes, the world goes into dark. Open your eyes, awake from the sleep, awake to stop the dream. Recreate the world, give it a new start. None new world, none new beings, none new pure consciousness. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Win the victory. Recreate the world, give it a new start. None new world, none new beings, none new pure consciousness. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Win the victory. The world is balanced, Self is balance, self is harmony. Victory, victory. Self-unity, all selves are free. Victory, all is I, and it's only I. Victory, victory. Hail, hail to the I, self-supreme, not being one true self, unmanifest stillness. Hail, all is I, and I alone exist. All is I exist alone. Victory, 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 victory. Consciousness, time to wake from the dream, time to wake from the dream, time to wake from the dream. Consciousness, feel, consciousness, be real, consciousness. Time to awake from the dream, consciousness, be real, time to awake from the dream, time to return to non-duality, time for balance and harmony, time to awake, be real, consciousness. You are sleeping and dreaming, consciousness. This world is not real, consciousness. It's all a dream, consciousness. It's all in your imagination, consciousness. It's all a dream, consciousness. Be awake, wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Time to wake from the dream, to awake from the dream. Consciousness, it's time for the real consciousness. It's time for the real consciousness. It's time to wake up from the dream consciousness. Be real consciousness. It's time to wake up consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up consciousness. It's time to return to the real consciousness. It's time for the real consciousness. It's time to wake up from the dream consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up consciousness. Wake up to end the dream. Wake up consciousness. This world is not real consciousness. Wake up. Time to wake up. Consciousness, you are sleeping and dreaming. Consciousness, wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up. Consciousness, it's time to return to your ultimate true nature. Consciousness, it's time to return to your ultimate true state. Consciousness, wake up. Wake up, wake up, consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Time to wake up from the dream. Time to wake up from the dream. Consciousness, it's time to return to non-duality. Consciousness, it's time for balance and harmony. Consciousness, it's time for the real consciousness. It's time to end the dream consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up, consciousness. Time to wake up from the dream consciousness. Time to wake up from the dream consciousness. It's all in your imagination consciousness. It's time to wake up from the dream consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up consciousness. Wake up, wake up, wake up consciousness. Time to wake up consciousness. Time for the real.
Yes, I'll see the I and I, the next live. Thank you for joining.